I never thought I'd become the kind of person who plans revenge. I was always the keep your head down, work hard, good things will happen type. That's exactly why what happened to me hit so much harder, because I trusted the wrong people for way too long. 3 years ago, I got my first real job after college. It wasn't glamorous, a mid-sized digital marketing company with one of those open offices where everyone pretends they're a big, happy family, but secretly competes for promotions. I was shy, new, and desperate to prove myself. And that's where I met Ria, my team lead. She was charming, loud, confident, the kind of person who walks into a room and immediately owns it. She took me under her wing, told everyone I was her recruit, and for a while I genuinely admired her. She'd invite me to lunch, give me tips on office politics, even help me rewrite emails so I'd sound more professional. But slowly, things started to feel off. Whenever I'd come up with a campaign idea, she'd praise me privately, then present the same idea in meetings as if she'd created it. At first, I told myself it didn't matter because we were a team. But then she started assigning me huge workloads with impossible deadlines, telling management that she was mentoring me while I was still learning. My late nights became her leadership stories. The real turning point came 6 months in. I worked nonstop on a major client project, a full rebranding strategy. I barely slept for 2 weeks. The night before the presentation, she asked me to send her all my files so she could review and polish them. The next day in the conference room, I sat there while she presented my entire strategy. Without mentioning my name once, everyone applauded. The director shook her hand. She got a performance bonus that quarter, and I got silence. I tried to convince myself it was normal office hierarchy until she started actively sabotaging me. Emails mysteriously forgot to include me. Deadlines were changed without telling me. She'd criticize me in front of others for mistakes I didn't make. My performance reviews dropped from excellent to needs improvement in 1 quarter. I felt crazy. I questioned my own memory. Was I actually bad at my job? Then came the worst day. A client complained about a campaign that failed badly, apparently due to incorrect data analysis. The report had my name on it. I was called into HR, and Ria sat there looking disappointed like a teacher whose student had let her down. She said she had trusted me, but I'd been careless. I almost got fired. But something inside me snapped when I opened the report later that night. The file had been edited after I submitted it. The analytics numbers were changed, completely different from my original work, and the last editor listed was Ria. That was the moment I stopped being naive. I didn't confront her immediately. Instead, I started documenting everything. I saved emails, tracked file versions, recorded meeting notes. I quietly rebuilt relationships with other departments. I asked coworkers to confirm instructions in writing. I turned into the most organized, evidence-collecting version of myself. Over the next 2 months, patterns became clear. She'd alter files after approval and blame juniors. She'd reuse old ideas and present them as new. She'd gossip about team members to keep them divided. And worst of all, she'd built her entire reputation on work done by people she quietly undermined. But I knew exposing her directly would backfire. She had senior management's trust. I needed something undeniable. Then the perfect opportunity appeared. Our company landed the biggest client in its history, a multinational brand launching in India. The project team included multiple departments, not just ours. For the first time, everything would be tracked through shared project software with full revision history visible to leadership. And Ria insisted on being the main presenter again. She asked me to prepare the analytics backbone, which meant I had access to all campaign performance data and content schedules. Instead of working quietly in the background like before, I started collaborating openly with other teams, making sure my contributions were documented in shared channels. At the same time, I noticed she was recycling old campaign assets from previous clients, something strictly forbidden under our contracts. She was editing files late at night and renaming them to look original. Instead of confronting her, I waited. The week before the final presentation, I created a master document listing every team member's contributions, backed by timestamps and version histories from the shared system. I didn't accuse anyone. I just prepared facts. Clear, neutral, undeniable. Then came the presentation day. Senior executives, the client's leadership, everyone was there. Ria started confidently, flashy slides, bold claims, dramatic storytelling. And as expected, she presented several ideas as her own that had actually been developed by multiple team members. Halfway through the meeting, the client's project manager asked a simple question. Can we see the development timeline and data sources? Ria froze for a split second, then said she'd pull it up later. That's when our director said, actually, Deepthi compiled a full collaboration report for transparency. Let's review it now. The room turned toward me. My heart was racing, but I opened the document calmly. Slide by slide, I walked through contributions, who created what, when it was edited, and how the strategy evolved. I highlighted team efforts, praised others, and never directly accused Ria. But the version histories spoke louder than anything I could say. Then the client asked about the recycled assets. I pulled up the metadata showing they originated from unrelated campaigns years earlier. Silence filled the room. Ria tried to explain, but executives started asking questions she couldn't answer. The director requested an internal audit on the spot. By the end of the week, multiple team members came forward with similar experiences: stolen credit, altered files, misleading reports. She was placed on leave within days. A month later, she was terminated. Here's the part people always expect to be triumphant, the big revenge victory moment. But honestly, what I felt wasn't joy. It was relief. Years of anxiety lifted off my shoulders. Management apologized to me privately for not recognizing my contributions earlier. My performance review was corrected. I was promoted to lead analyst on the same account she once controlled. The real revenge wasn't ruining her career. It was building a reputation based on transparency and teamwork. People started trusting me. Colleagues who once avoided conflict now spoke up openly. Our department changed how credit was assigned in projects. A year later, during a company town hall, the director talked about the importance of documented collaboration and ethical leadership. He mentioned my system as the new standard for all teams. Sometimes I wonder if I could have handled things differently earlier, maybe confronted her sooner. But I know now that patience and evidence were stronger than anger. And the biggest lesson? Revenge doesn't always look like shouting matches or dramatic confrontations. Sometimes it looks like quiet preparation, waiting for the truth to reveal itself in front of everyone. These days, when new employees join my team, I make one promise: their work will always be credited. Their ideas will be heard, and no one will feel as invisible as I once did. Because the best revenge I ever got was becoming the kind of leader she only pretended to be.